Oh man. So in terms of everything else, obviously you couldn't pace line off the longboards, you couldn't do all of that, but you did have everything else set, like you had all your gadgets. So you mentioned you had your phone and you had a battery charger on that, right? And then you ended up using a Fitbit watch for mileage, and it ended up, so that all lasted, that Fitbit lasted the entire 24 hours, right?
Take that, all you Garmin people. Yeah, your 23-hour whatever Garmin watches, suck on it. Yeah, it's the Fitbit Versus 2. It lasted all 24 hours, recording everything, and then had like battery to spare. I couldn't believe it because I already planned for it to die at like 20 some odd hours. No, lasted the whole time. Oh no, equipment specs. So I did the bearings, wheels, frames, everything else. Let's see. CCN, thank you guys for the best skin suit. So good. I used the I believe it's the Marathon Fit one because once again I was trying to be doing it all myself with other people helping out. So I wore their less aerodynamic suit just so I could move around more freely.
That was important because when you needed to pee, you needed to like peel off things.
So I was planning ahead for that.
Starts locking up, like you're not going to be able to pull that off. So I think comfort matters a little more for these longer events at the end of the day.
It's if you don't have support though. If I'd had like somebody handing me my stuff the entire time, and I could have like worked my diet a little bit better, then no, I would have gone with more aerodynamic stuff. Simply just because I would have had a need to go back up in here and get my stuff back out of it because they would just been handed to me each time. Mm-hmm. So pros and cons weighed it out.
Yeah.
Oh, aero. So I used Rule 40 or Rule 28 aero sleeves and little cup things that go around your legs or your calves. They're more aerodynamically better for the wind and they help channel air better. However, they also have the benefit of temperature, perfect. A lot of people you see like doing jackets on, jackets off, and this, that, and the other, and leggings and stuff. No, I wore the skin suit, pair of compression underwear, wool, smart wool socks. Just one pair. I didn't need any of the little booties or anything. And then the sleeves and the calf covers. That's it. Because it was like 55, I think. I think 54 might have been the low. But as long as you're moving, it was perfect. And then suntan. Oh, thank God. I hate using suntan spray and lotion and everything else, right? So if you're like this the whole time, not only are you going to get the bad farmer's tan, but you're just going to barbecue yourself during the day, which means at night you're going to be colder. The only part of me that got any sun was like right around where the knee was. That's it. So
nice.
Clothes was perfect on that one.
Cool. So you just kept yourself covered, and that ended up helping quite a bit. Now, I think that's about all the big questions I had. But we had looking at the final results, you had 306.9 miles. Is that about right?
Yeah, something like it's 306 point. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then Francisco ended up with 350 kilometers, which came out to like 200 something miles.
Yeah.
And Jaime had, I think, a little under 200 miles or something.
That guy suffered too. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but like really great achievement on everyone's parts. And then even the other inline skaters got quite the mileage, it seemed.
Yeah, like the girls were in like little 76 by 80 high-low setup hockey skates the whole time. Unreal at hockey skates to do that.
Yeah, and now did you stay in your skates the entire time? Did they come off at all?
Not once. No. My first one of these I ever did, my theory was, because everybody talked about blistering and everything else, right? To rotate socks every 6 hours, rotate. Nah, that was a terrible idea when I did that event. So with this one, I literally put these bad boys on, strapped them up, laced them up. I never even undid the laces once. The only thing I ever did, there's a ratchety strap that I installed back on it again at the top. That was the only thing I messed with the whole race as far as like personal equipment is concerned. As the race started getting more towards the end, it was like I said, they were starting to dig into my ankle. Yeah, I just took the ratchet thing and just tightened it a little bit more so it limit my ability for my ankle to do any type of flexing at all, just so it would stop hurting me. Not because I was tired, because that actually wasn't a problem. It was more just because of the pain. So I was like, all right, let's get these things a little tighter so it'll stop being able to hit me every time.
Cool. Awesome. So it seemed like there was a good reception with the skaters. Obviously, each skater seemed to play like a different role. Like it seemed like, the young women on the hockey skates just showed anyone can just get on this course and have a good time.
And Kevin, because of course that Kevin guy.
Kevin, right? Yeah, don't matter. And then Francisco, I think, was really cool in that he was apparently he had overslept when he took a break.
No,
And then,
no, he didn't oversleep at all.
yeah, well, he wanted to get 350K, so he had very little time. He had like an hour or so left in the morning. So he just went stir crazy and just was doing 20-mile-per-hour laps. So a fun fact, the longboard lap record was set this year, and it
Yep.
was something like 5 minutes and 15 seconds.
Oh,
And and meanwhile, Francisco's average lap times while he was moving was actually around 5 minutes, 15 seconds, or even less.
oh,
And
yeah,
he
that guy.
pulled, I believe, a 4:15 in the
So,
last.
yeah, I remember they mentioned that it was a loudspeaker. They're like, whoa. Because it was like literally the last like 30 minutes of the race, and he just, whoom.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking like I think it left a real good impression though, to be like everyone's like in the last hour in the state of zombie state, right? And then Francisco's just whizzing by, going probably 3 times the speed of anyone else.
Yeah.
So I think it left a good impression for skaters. And then obviously your feat was really cool of just, you did the 300. Like they didn't even have a category for inline skaters doing 300, right? Like you went in there, they probably, what do they have, a 200-mile category? And you went in there getting the holy grail 300 miles. So what was that? What was that reception there? They apparently announced it and everything, right?
Yeah, I got a video on my Instagram of me actually like crawling across the finish line. The guy like yelling and screaming. Oh my god, that's quite a feat on inline skates. I put it though. I ended up getting so I got uh, the they didn't have a girls and guys division for the inline skates. It's fine. Thank you guys for actually having a thing for us because it's not even our event. But I got the first place inline skate champion division thing. So I got this, and because they had no idea what to do with us because we're doing different. Um, they gave us there was like a 250-mile wheel that you got. It was another like little symbolic trophy that they had, and they had the 100-mile bearings. It's really cool actually. On the little bearing, they have like a little logo written on it of like you made 100 miles and stuff. So we got the bearings, we got the wheel. It's just funny because it's a longboard wheel. So like I don't know what to do with this, and then you got the trophy. I asked the guy who ended up winning, he got the trophy and everything for the 300. He did 313 or 14 miles. He beat me by 7 miles. Um, they have what's called the golden truck or whatever, right? For getting like the amount of miles and stuff. But the golden truck is supposed to be for 300 miles. And he was like, wait, you didn't get one? I was like, I don't think it'd be appropriate. I get a truck off a longboard to go 300 miles. So, I mean, I'll try to mount it to one of these maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, but it was really cool for them to have inline skaters. It looks like the reception was good, and like with everything between the good impression left over there, it seemed like Francisco was talking to them too about potential collaborations or making a better, bigger event that's more that he could help out on the inline side of things. And obviously with you out there representing and giving a lot of inspiration for the rest of us, seems like for next year we might have a very exciting event.
Oh yeah, I'm telling everybody to show up this time. I mean, I
Yeah.
know that once again we're guests, but like they were like, yeah, come back, bring your friends. I'm like, oh, you have no idea.
Not Fred.
I got at least 10 that are going to show up and be better than me. So yeah,
Yeah,
bring all them too.
the support had a place to sit down on the sides, right? Like they could do
Oh
that.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
for the guys in the middle for people to like relax and rest and
Yep,
chill out, right? So it seemed like everything was really well put together.
yep. If you do show up in your support crew, bring one of those little pop-up tents like you see like the vendors and stuff have. Bring one of those for yourself. Then you can be literally right next to the track and still be covered in case it rains or something. That'd be your pit crew. Totally bring a tent.
Cool. It seemed like some people are out in sleeping bags as well, hanging out. It seemed like a good
There are a
party.
lot. Seeing people sleep everywhere. Oh my god. So you have the pit wall where I have my stuff, right? There are literally multiple people just laying on that pit wall, just dying, like laying on top of it, going, I can't get up. Go here. The guy, the skateboarder that was actually technically right beside where all my stuff was, he's laying on the ground on the other side of the wall. I stopped, I was like, are you okay? He's laying there, he's going, I can't get up. I'm like, are you all right? He's like, nah, I just can't get up. I want to, but it's just not happening. So he's just like there.
Wow.
For him.
Cool. In terms of for others looking to do this event, like, do you have any tips, suggestions, whether they're doing solo, relay, participating? Like, what was your training like? What do you suggest people be ready to do going into this event in the not just in the days prior, but also in the months prior? Like, let's go into that.
So once again, my training wasn't for this one. So carry over in your training. If you don't have time, go and obviously, do physical exercise and all that kind of stuff, right? As much as you can. Skate as much as you can. However, find that one day that you can go out and do way too many miles, like 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. Find at least one day that you can do those, to find those little things that will get you after that. So like a marathon, doesn't matter. 2 hours, doesn't matter. Find the ones that'll get you at 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. That's so important to know. Oh, after this many hours, this starts hurting. So you can go ahead and plan to heat mold out, like press out one little spot. You're like, oh no, this really bothered me. No, it will. Find that spot and get rid of it. Try all the things you're going to eat beforehand. Meaning, if you're like, oh yeah, I got this new protein supplement, try it first. It makes a big deal. Make sure you like the flavor of Gatorade that you're going to take with you. Did you buy that one and take it with you? There were so many people with the diet thing, even though mine wasn't perfect. I still knew to have an actual protein bar with me. I was like, okay, I need this actual physical thing because it might not be enough. So I planned ahead for that. I didn't do it correctly, but I just had it though I needed it. The main thing is doing that, like one or two really super long skates to find the little things that you've done wrong. And then training wise, I could have done it slightly different. I would have trained more for flat than I did. All my skills and training were for, once again, average speed and going up hills. Because once again, Lamar, it's just uphill and a downhill, uphill and a downhill. This track, there's no hills. You literally just skate around flat the whole time. So if I could have trained a little bit more for that, it probably would have served me better. But yeah, the number one is looking for all like little niggly things which will just cause you pain. Diet. So the one thing that I know for a fact, whether or not you do this supplement or that supplement, this water, whatever, always eat before you're hungry and drink before you're thirsty. If you don't do those two things, you'll end up like that longboarder guy who couldn't get up off the ground on the other side of my pit wall because he didn't drink enough water, which means he was cramping 3 hours into the race. It's so hard to come back from at that point. So even though you don't want to drink that bottle of water, which I didn't most of the time, take the bottle of water and just drink it anyway. Your body will thank you later on because it's still working. Yeah, that would be my two recommendations. Eat before you're hungry, drink before you're thirsty, and get at least one or two super long skates so you can feel those little things that are going wrong.
Now, I imagine those super long skates also aren't about the physicality, but I think there's like a mental aspect of that too, to be like, okay, it's like you're going into this event being like, oh, I've been out on skates 5-6 hours straight, instead of like, I've only been out on skates 2 hours straight, right? Like, I think once you like hit like a certain level of something, it's easier to get to like the next level. I found that with a lot of my events as well. Just like, how am I going to do this really crazy big thing? Be like, oh, but if I've done one before, that's even a third of that or half of that, it goes such a long way.
Yep. Plus, a lot of times when you do, so my experience with the races is, like I talked about with the 8 hour mark, or it's 6 to 8 hour mark, right? Because most people are not even in their skates for past that length of time. Once you're out there though, and you're doing all the rest of the people and you see all the rest of the crazies out there with you, that bond helps keep all of y'all going. You just got to get to that point.
Cool.
So nice to have.
Right. And what was your, how much did you eat before the race? Did you eat a lot, a little? What was that?
Not really. Normal dinner. I think we did Chick-fil-A or something for dinner. It was really simple stuff because it's not going to matter. A to A, for example, or marathon. We'll use A to A because I've never done a marathon. Sorry, everybody, I've never done a marathon.
Shortest race is New York City 100K, 64 miles.
Yeah, so for A to A, it's only going to be, for people like me, 5-ish hours, right? So as long as I pack a lot of food in me at night, night before, right, and then smash a pretty decent sized breakfast, I won't need to refuel really until I get to the end. Maybe like small little things. With this race, I'm going to be eating the whole time. Like literally from hour one, like do the thing, hour one, grab food, drink the bottle of water, drink the Gatorade, and then keep going. So it's not really necessary to do like that carb loading everybody talks about. It's not really that necessary. Just eat like normal beforehand and just have your stomach be okay with what you're about to do to it. Like I took an antacid because I have a little bit of acid reflux. So I took an antacid midway through the race just because the amount of salt and the amount of sugar, you're just basically going, eat this the whole